2018, and I was coordinating organization of policy events, conferences. I also managed daily activities of FSR Transport and was coordinating work with donor companies.
I joined FSR in January of 2019, and in my role as research associate, I was responsible for research and analysis on transport regulation. Here I've had the chance to broaden my knowledge of other cross-cutting topics that affect the transport sectors.
In 2018, transport sector was mainly dominated by men, so we saw really much more men attending our events and having impact on the in the discussions on transport area. With time, I can see that a lot of women are taking leading positions, being heads of associations, head of units. I could see a lot of women growing from the junior professionals coming to our events 5 years ago and now being responsible for drafting legislation proposals in Brussels.
We've invested a lot of resources and effort into building a solid network of female experts in transport and actively trying to involve them in all of our activities, be it publications, events, and podcasts. The podcast series, which was called On the Move and which I had the privilege of hosting, in fact was one of our efforts in this regard to put the spotlight on voices of female experts from the various transport modes. And last summer, the FSR hosted its very first Summer School on Transport Regulation, which was another great success, and it could be another avenue in future for the further deepening of female expertise and the training of female experts in transport.
We are living in the world which is changing dramatically in the past years. We had COVID, we had war in Ukraine, and FSR Transport, in my opinion, was adjusting very well to the European agenda. In 2020, organized meetings with digital experts and called this group DIGEX, Digitalizing a Group of Experts. The result of this work was a book on digitalizing of network industries.
I would say that perhaps our most valuable activity has been our series of Florence policy forums. Each forum is organized in very close collaboration with the European Commission. Over 50 such events have taken place to date, and each of them is followed up by a comprehensive policy brief that contains a so-called observer, which is our FSR's analysis of the discussions.
For more than 10 years, FSR Transport has been organizing a conference on the regulation of infrastructures, which brought together all areas of FSR. We had a very good outcome. We produced several publications, Network Industries Quarterly. We brought a lot of visibility to the researchers. They were also published in the SAGE journal CRNI, and many of them became close collaborators of FSR Transport and other areas.
One of our greatest successes during my time at FSR would be our book titled Towards a Smart and Sustainable Single European Transport Area, which we co-edited together with Professor Matthias Finger and Juan Montero. The book was published in 2022, and it documents the evolution of transport regulation in the EU over the past 10 years.
In global context, I think European institutions, member states will need to continue working together. We will need to have platform to discuss these issues. And in my opinion, FSR Transport has proven with years to be that kind of place. We tend to say that FSR Transport is a platform for academically-minded practitioners and practically-minded academics, which means that discussions in Florence always end up in a concrete suggestions for the legislation.
Here I did see some major changes take place within FSR, in particular a move towards greater integration and collaboration between the different areas, as all the teams are starting to work on more cross-cutting themes like decarbonization and digitalization. And going forward, I would wish the school to continue building on this, because these could provide a very valuable platform for knowledge exchange and the formation of fruitful partnerships. Lastly, I also wish the school to continue further deepening its impact and influence when it comes to shaping EU discussions and also shaping EU policy outcomes, while at the same time preserving its academic integrity.